Hey everyone, welcome to a new Hangout, although as you can see, it's a little bit of a thrifting haul. Yes, that's right, pre-Christmas thrifting haul. I got my little tiny Christmas tree out. I do have a normal size, well, it's actually like a 4 or 5 foot artificial tree that I'm going to put up, but this is my anyway, I think I'm jumping into it too quick. I try to put off putting up my Christmas tree and my ornaments and that before too early into the season. Because for me, I like to keep my tree up well into like February, probably even March, I don't know. So I try to put it off till at least like early to mid December before I put up my tree and decorate it. But this little guy is sort of like a little pre thing I do. I put it out and light it up at night, and I have some other Christmas lights that I have just to kind of, acknowledge that the days are getting darker and the winter solstice is upon us, and, brighten up our lives in the darkness. So I got this out especially for the recording of this video, though I was planning on getting it out anyway. So this is the Hangout. This is also a bit of a little thrifting haul. I did go to, I went to the thrift store. I went to Taz Records in Halifax. Traded in some old stuff for some new stuff, so that's really cool. So if you're new to my channel, I do a weekly Hangout where I talk about what I listen to, what I watched on physical media or streaming. I talk about, if I pick up anything, I talk about that. I also talk about new releases coming out on DVD and Blu-ray this coming week. So I believe that's December 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, in Canada. And I use Blu-ray.com as my source for that. So if I ever say something's coming out and it doesn't come out, it's, I mean, nobody can be 100% accurate, and the internet's not always reliable. Go figure. So, but yeah, so I talk about music that I listen to, movies I watched, all that good stuff. This week I did manage to find a few things at the thrift store, and like I said, I did trade in some stuff for some new stuff. So we'll be going into that. I didn't actually watch a lot this past week. I have one movie I watched for the first time in my life that is very, very intense. But let's get into the music first. So, and then there's going to be a bit of a crossover, I guess, as far as like what I listen to and what my thrifting haul, because some of the stuff that I thrifted I also listened to. Actually, most of it I listened to. So, what was I? Oh, I watched a little video on YouTube about the band Yes and their album Tales of the Topographic Ocean, or Tales from Topographic Ocean. Can't remember the exact title. Topographic Oceans, I think. Probably most people just refer to it as that. But I was watching that video, and they were talking about before they made that album, the members of Yes wanted to record their next album, which I think was the follow-up to Fragile, if I'm not mistaken. Topographic Oceans, they wanted to record it in a field with nature sounds around them, and I think maybe that was mostly John Anderson, and Steve Howe might have been slightly interested. The rest of the band, whoever, was like, no, we're good. So they set up in the studio, and they brought in this really crazy, I mean, the 70s were so wild, but they set up white picket fences in the studio and brought in shrubs and plants, and there might have even been farm animals. I can't remember for sure, but to recreate this feeling of being in the countryside, and it's just wild what they got away with back then. Probably there was a lot of money, there was a lot of drugs, and there was a lot of extremely creative people, and this created this sort of perfect space for madness to happen. So with that said, I had Topographic Oceans on vinyl. I recently lost that vinyl in my vinyl purge, And the nearest I have is this CD, which I picked up a couple months ago from Renegade Records in Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. This is Topographic Drama, which is a live album from 2017. And this was released by Rhino Records, and this is a double... Is it a double album, or is... Yeah, I guess it's a double album. I wasn't sure if it was a double, or I wasn't sure if it was an album and a DVD, but it appears to be 2 compact discs, yes. This is a pretty dense recording. I've only really listened fully to the whole thing once and listened to this first disc a couple of times. I think I showed this off a couple months ago in my What Was I Listening To? But because I don't have Topographic Oceans, I decided to pop this on and just enjoy it. We had some snow the other night, Sunday night into Monday. We got 2 centimeters. So when I woke up, wait, was that night? No, that was Friday into Saturday. So when I woke up Saturday morning to get ready for work and I opened my blinds, everything had that beautiful, freshly fallen snow in the trees. And I popped this on and it was lovely. The other thing I've been really listening to, so the other thing I was checking out was to see if the Voivod documentary has been released on physical media. I can't see where it has. I know it played at some film festivals and stuff, but that got me watching interviews with the band. And then I was watching, of course, my favorite, Michel from the band, Langevin, and he was wearing a Joy Division shirt. And I thought, I haven't listened to Joy Division in so long. And I put on Joy Division. This is called Permanent. It's from 1995, which is kind of like a collection of singles and album tracks and things like that. It has a Love Will Tear Us Apart remix called the Permanent Mix. But this is a great CD. The only other ones I have is Closer, and I'm actually missing Unknown Pleasures. I need to grab that when I find it again. The liner notes are from John Savage from 1995. Pretty exhaustive liner notes, very well written. When I was reading this, I thought I want to read this on my Hangout video because some of it was really well written. I just got to remember where I saw this great. Joy Division intuitively constructed a theater that could only have come from Manchester, that dark, claustrophobic yet spacious city where oblivion is an ever-present desire. It could also only have happened in the late 70s, a time of hopes betrayed and cities uprooted, a time when the shadows that have been banished by consumerism's bright glare returned with a vengeance. It was Joy Division's fate to enact the disappearance of their communities, the psychic poison of dispossessed Britain, the raging emotions that had been repressed by wartime's stiff upper lip. To those who saw them live, Joy Division remain unforgettable. To Charles Shar Murray in June 1979, their sound resembled, quote-unquote, awful things carved out of black marble. Ian Curtis was their eyes and ears, their guide, but in concert, while the audience stared, he would go off into an automatic visionary state that could resemble the worst nightmares of H.P. Lovecraft, De Quincey, or Ian's favorite authors, William Burroughs and J.G. Ballard. Of the group, all the group could do was support him, which they did with a rare constancy. Ever flanked by Bernard Sumner and Peter Hook, Ian Curtis could project himself into the unknown. This is a dangerous undertaking at the best of times, let alone in the wild, undisciplined arena of rock clubs. Fired by Iggy Pop, Jim Morrison, the Velvet Underground, and Nico, the Sex Pistols, Ballard and Burroughs, Ian Curtis saw himself in the tradition of poet maudit, those decadents who, disordering their senses, aimed, in losing themselves, to see the world with real eyes, to find the transcendence in degradation. So, John Savage, very poetic with his words there. And if you've never listened to Joy Division, go check them out, because they were I think at times maybe, I don't want to say overrated, but maybe it's better to just listen to them. I mean, that writing is very eloquent, and it describes to me the band very well and that time. But go listen to them and let yourself get lost in it, because it is a thing of beauty. So the other things I listen to, and this kind of runs into my thrifting hauls. So I'm going to be saying I listen to this and I also pick this up. So because the rest of it is pickups. Yep. So the first thing I picked up, also being very nostalgic for the 80s recently, and watching a lot of those Top of the Pops British videos from the 80s, and seeing a lot of my old heroes again, got me kind of inspired to listen to some 80s music. And when I was in a thrift store yesterday, I found a treasure, and that is the Culture Club's Color by Numbers from 1983. This is a CD I have not seen in the 5 years since I started seriously thrifting. So I don't know how rare this CD is, but I have not seen it out in the wild, so had to grab this. This has, of course, Karma Chameleon, It's a Miracle, Church of the Poison Mind, Miss Me Blind. It has a lot of great songs. 10 songs produced by Steve Levine from 1983, Culture Club. And guys, when I was like a teenager, I didn't know I was queer. I mean, there was definitely like hints, but when I saw Boy George, I was like, oh. And when I saw Pete Burns from Dead or Alive, I said, oh. And when I saw Adam Ant, I went, oh. And I discovered a whole legion of people, creative people, who were pushing the envelope, not only with music, but also with gender and gender expression. And Boy George, especially watching these old videos of Boy George and looking up pictures of him from back in the day, like, I was like, yeah. I'm not going to say he was an inspiration to me, but he was definitely somebody who gave me courage to even express myself back then, before I even really knew who I was. So really exciting to revisit that. And the interesting thing I thought about listening to Color by Numbers by Culture Club was that it's very soulful music. And it was something, as a kid, I didn't know soul music really. I knew like some Motown and stuff, but I didn't really know like real soul music. And when I put this on in the car yesterday and I started listening to it, I was really blown away by how soulful it was. And I don't know if it says in the credits who the person was that was doing the background vocals. Helen Terry, I have to say, has a really beautiful, rich, soulful voice, and it really adds a lot of dimension to Culture Club. A band that, to me, again, like in the early 80s, I didn't know what reggae music was, or what, except for like maybe like, what's his name, Eddie Grant, Electric Avenue. I didn't really know a lot of those sounds. And Culture Club definitely adopted a lot of those sounds into their music. And so that was my first exposure to a lot of that kind of music, that different cultural music. And even Boy George's like appearance, and there's some writing in there that's I don't know if it's Chinese or Japanese. So they were playing with this sort of like multicultural kind of image, and infusing their music with a lot of those sounds. And so re-listening to that yesterday, I could not believe how soulful it was. And I was like, wow, this was probably like my first exposure to that kind of thing. So cool. Love it. The next pickup I got, which I also listened to this week, is My Bloody Valentine. This is the Isn't Anything album, which came out in 1988. This has one of my favorite My Bloody Valentine songs, Soft as Snow But Warm Inside. Feed Me With Your Kiss, of course. Sue Is Fine. Um, yeah, great album. Um, I haven't owned this album since the 90s, so I was really happy to find this with my trade-in to Taz Records. So shout out to Taz Records for taking my CDs and allowing me to pick up some new things, some new used things that make me feel very happy. And there's the band there. Belinda looking very cute. This also has Deb Goog or Googie. She plays bass, and she went on to be in the Thurston Moore Band. And of course, My Bloody Valentine, very famous band from the shoegaze sort of dream pop 80s British wave of music. And Loveless is their biggest album, though their 2013 self-titled album, the one with the blue cover, is also amazing. This is also very good. And this, to me, is... this takes me back to 89 or 90. Hanging out with some of the guys from Sloan, and they actually, Jay from Sloan, turned me and a few of my friends on to My Bloody Valentine. So shout out to Jay Ferguson and Chris Murphy from Sloan, who were ahead of the pack with this stuff. We were playing them Big Black and Sonic Youth, and they played us My Bloody Valentine and a lot of other great Fugazi and stuff like that. So cool back then, to like share music with each other. And yeah, so immediately when I got back from that trip from Halifax, I went to Sam the Record Man in the Fredericton Mall, and I grabbed the cassette tape Feed Me With Your Kiss, which was an EP. And then that was it from then on. This is from Creation Records from 1988. The next thing I picked up was a little combination. It's for me, but it's also for my mom, a gift for my mom. I don't think she watches my channel, but I grabbed her Aaron Neville's Soulful Christmas, speaking of soul music. And this is from, I don't know, I just got to grab my magnifying glass. Just hold on, guys. Remember, when you get old, keep by your side a magnifying glass and a pair of scissors. For some reason, they always come in handy. This is from 1993 from A&M Records. And I listened to this morning before recording this video, and it is actually quite fantastic. There was one song I wasn't big on. Might have been called Louisiana Christmas Day. But yeah, he does a lot of the classics. Oh Holy Night, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, Let It Snow, White Christmas, Oh Little Town of Bethlehem, Silent Night. So I grabbed this for my mom, really, because she loves, or has loved, Aaron Neville's singing in the past. And I found this for a reasonable price, so I grabbed it. I'll probably copy it to my laptop, and then I'll hand this on to her, and she can enjoy it for the holiday season. Yeah, Aaron Neville. The other one I grabbed, actually got this at Value Village in Halifax. This is Lorena McKennett, An Ancient Muse. And this is from 2006. I think I read that this was a first CD for her after years of not putting anything out. I've seen this a few times, but the discs were always in really bad shape. So I just recently found this quite nice copy of it. I've only listened to it once. Lorena McKennett, An Ancient Muse. And it has a bunch of notes inside from Lorena in French and English about the songs and the history of the songs, if you're into that, Celtic history and stuff like that. And yeah, it's cool. It seems like it's kind of like she's talking a bit about what the song is about, but also like around the time that she wrote the song or what inspired it. So yeah, cool to have that in my collection. I've been kind of picking up Lorena McKennett CDs when I see them. And this one, quite good. Yeah, like I said, I've only listened to it once, so I have to revisit that. The other ones that I picked up, which I have not listened to yet, I picked up Genesis. This is the album A Trick of the Tail. This is the 2023 reissue. How do you guys feel about these cardboard cases? Because I'm not a big fan of them. I will say, when I opened the booklet, I was really, really in love with the artwork. I love that style of drawing. It looks like maybe ink. Very, very cool. So I actually have not listened to this yet. I just picked it up because it was the last, I think, of the 70s Genesis that I want to add to my collection. This actually I didn't know until after I got it home and looked at the liner notes, but Peter Gabriel's not on this one to my knowledge. I think this is after he left the band. Maybe this was the first of the Genesis without him. I'm not sure. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. This is also from Rhino Records. But yeah, I haven't checked this one out yet. I believe I like Phil Collins singing for Genesis. I do like Phil Collins in general. So I'll have to check this out and I will let you know how it sounds. I actually don't know if I've ever listened to this album at all. I'm trying to remember, like I have the other, like the earlier 70s ones, and I like them, so hoping for good things from that. And the last compact disc I picked up, which was used but in very good condition, and this is Nightwish, Angels Fall First. Not a very inspired album jacket, but it has the song Elven Path on it, which I really, really like that song. It also has some demos as bonus tracks. This is from the year 2007, it appears to be. And this is a finish, a sort of... It says, Angels Fall First, 1997, the sound of a career about to explode. And it also says at the top, Nightwish Reloaded. So I don't know if this is a remaster or something, but I know some Nightwish. I don't know all of Nightwish. And I know the lead singer, Tarja Turunen, left the band, and I think they have a new singer now. I think they put out an album last year, which was pretty good, but there's Tarja looking very young in that photo. But yeah, if you like, I don't know, what is the genre? Is it like power? It's not power metal, it's like symphonic metal, I guess. It's like epic. There's keyboards, there's double bass drums. It's a lot of songs about fantasy lyrics and historical stuff, and just quite fantastic. So yeah, you can go check them out. There's I'd love to find the DVD or Blu-ray. There's a Nightwish concert video that they did that's very good. That was the first Nightwish that I caught on to. And I think this might be the first time I've owned a Nightwish CD. So I saw this. I think I paid $7.99 for it, but it's in really, really nice condition. And I just noticed on the CD itself, I don't know if you will be able to see that, but it has the signatures of the band on the disc. Not actual autographs, obviously, or this would probably be worth more money, but they did that for the CD, so pretty cool. On to the movies, kids. So the only Blu-ray that I picked up brand new is from the Criterion Collection from 1971. This is Spine number 182, and this is Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs, starring Dustin Hoffman, Susan George. So the deal is that I traded in a bunch of stuff at Taz Records. I was taking my landlady to a doctor's appointment in the city. She said, go have fun, go do whatever you want. So of course I go to the record store, and had just traded in my stuff when she called to say, I'm ready to be picked up. And I was like, oh no, you don't want to keep your landlady waiting at the hospital entrance. So that said, I had to grab some things really quick. And I don't know why, but I think I was at Value Village before I went to Taz Records. I saw the remake of Straw Dogs in the stack of movies. And I remember saying to myself, like an hour before I bought this Blu-ray, Straw Dogs, the original, there's a movie I've never seen, but I've heard so much about. So when I had to grab some things very quickly, I grabbed Sam Peckinpah's Straw Dogs on Blu-ray from Criterion. I had never seen this movie before. I watched it the other night. It's very intense. I'll say that. So if movies with SA in them affect you or bother you, you probably will not want to watch this. It's very graphic. Though that said, they don't show a lot, but it's the implication, you know. It's really, really disturbing. Dustin Hoffman is incredible. If I could swear I would, is incredible in this movie. He brings, and Susan George is incredible as well, playing Amy, his wife, his partner. And this is, you know, I'm sure a lot has been said about this movie, and I don't have a lot of time to talk about it here today. Maybe I'll have to do a review of it at some point, but this movie is, like, I'd never seen it before. Always heard about it. It's a very infamous movie, of course, for the things that happen in it and the violence, the brutality of it. It's really, really intense. So if you're not feeling particularly strong, I would not recommend watching this movie, but if you're in a good place and you're looking for something that's very graphic and intense and very well done. Obviously, Peckinpah is considered a master at filmmaking, but yeah, very intense. This has a newly restored 4K digital transfer audio commentary in 2003 from Stephen Prince, author of Savage Cinema, Sam Peckinpah, and the Rise of Ultraviolet Movies. 2003 documentary about the making of the film, a documentary about Sam Peckinpah called Man of Iron. There's all kinds of extra features. Of course, Criterion always does an amazing job with their special features. So if you want to pause that, you can kind of see the special features. But yeah, how do I feel about this movie is mixed. It's very, very disturbing, very intense. When I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, will I ever rewatch this movie? I don't know. This is like, not as bad as I Spit on Your Grave, but for me, one of those kind of movies where it's like, I don't know if I need to see this again. So I might try to get a bit of money back out of this and pass this on to somebody else. Or I may keep it for a while and maybe down the road I'll revisit it, but it's very, very disturbing. I forgot at the beginning of my video, guys, I always encourage folks who are watching my Hangout videos, if you want to get a warm beverage, this is probably lukewarm at best. Having some grocery store coffee with some Earth's Own almond milk in my Yoda mug, which was gifted to me by my friend Christina. It says snack, attack, protect. So yeah, so having some coffee this morning. There's most of the snow melted yesterday. It rained and it got a little mild. I believe today is supposed to be +2 here in Nova Scotia. They were calling for a big storm on Wednesday. I don't know if that's still happening. Of course, if you live in the Maritimes, you know our resident weather person, Frankie McDonald, did release a video saying big storm coming. So if Frankie says that, there's probably a good chance we're going to get some snow. A couple of days ago, somebody said 20 centimeters. 2 days ago, somebody said 20 to 30 centimeters. And then yesterday, somebody said there's like 2 centimeters. So I don't know who to believe. I guess we'll just see what happens, right? Tomorrow is December. The festive season is upon us. The return of the sun in 20 days or so. The last of my physical media pickups, which I'm not sure what I'm doing with yet, if I'm going to keep them or maybe try to resell them. I found a sealed copy of The Devil's Rejects on VHS. Now, I say sealed. I believe this is a repack because that is not the original barcode. But the only thing, it's starting to, the plastic's starting to peel there. But otherwise, where did this come from? I haven't found good horror tapes at my Value Village literally in years. And then I found a sealed copy of Jeepers Creepers 2 on VHS, which I've never actually seen this movie. I don't really like the first Jeepers Creepers, but I do have a few people in my life that like to collect these things, so I may pass that along. Generally, if I buy these things now, I sell them. I pick them up for $1.99 and I sell them for like $4. I double my money. It's a good deal for somebody who collects VHS. I'm not a big reseller, but I do tend to grab things because I do have a few people in my life that like that stuff. And in the case of a Husker Du record a few months ago, I just picked it up at $6.99 and I sold it to my friend for $6.99. So try to be reasonable and not like mark these things up. I was at another thrift store yesterday. I found a copy of Friday the 13th Part 4 on VHS. They were asking $40. Guys, come on now. That's just gouging fans. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. This one I grabbed again at Value Village. Prom Night on VHS. This isn't an original pressing. This is from that kind of crappy company, HGV, from 1997. It's a re-release. Has Leslie Nielsen's in it. I haven't seen this movie in years. I don't remember being a super fan, but I probably will rewatch it, and then again, maybe after that, pass it along. And then the final thing I got, which is not a horror movie, but cool nonetheless, I found The Life Aquatic with Steve Zissou on VHS, and I believe this one's fairly rare. This is a second copy I found. I'm going to keep the first copy I found and maybe sell this one, but I only see one. At the time I bought my first copy, I'd only seen it listed on eBay, and it was like $200. So I don't know how rare this one is. I know this and The Devil's Rejects. These are like latter releases in the VHS lifespan. So 2005, 2004-ish. Near the tail end of the VHS manufacturing. So some of those might be worth a couple of pennies. I don't know. I'm not in it for the money, though. I'm just doing it for the kids. But yeah, really happy to have all these CDs in my collection now. Well, not these two. I already have them, but these were great pickups. Shout out to Taz Records. They're always very kind to me. Always give me great credit for my CDs. You know, this time when I went in, the person that waits on me a lot and goes through my CDs, they said, "Oh yeah, no, you always bring us good stuff." And that is true, because the last couple times I've taken in backpacks full of CDs, they've been really good things. I said to this person this time, yeah, they're pretty good. They're pretty good. I mean, there was some Nine Inch Nails, there was some Black Sabbath, there was some Nick Drake, there was some good stuff in there. There was some stuff that was not so great, like 90s Yes, and some stuff that was like, you know, okay, Asia or can't remember that band. But I was like, I said to this person kind of jokingly, I said, yeah, but the quality is going to go somewhat down in quality because I've given you a lot of the really good stuff that I don't want. Now I'm giving you pretty good stuff I don't want. And next will be probably not so great stuff that I don't want. And then, of course, I'm cherry picking. So I'm keeping all what I consider the really good stuff. So anyway, they're always kind to me there. And so shout out to Taz Records. If you're looking for vinyl, compact discs, Blu-rays, DVDs, collectible toys, t-shirts, box sets, books, Taz Records has it all. So go check them out. And of course, I'd be remiss if I did not mention Tom at Renegade Records in Dartmouth, also a great place to find new and used music and movies. So, yeah, so this ties into, of course, my usual message at the end, which is support your local shops. Don't buy at your box stores. So if you're going Christmas shopping or holiday shopping, be sure to support your local friends and businesses. Now, so that's everything I watched. Oh, I did want to mention that my annual tradition is oh, that's not true. I watched another movie. I don't, should I bother? My annual tradition nearing the holidays is I always watch the Macy's Day Parade on NBC. I'm not sponsored by them, but I always watch the Macy's Day Christmas Parade on TV, followed by the Westminster Dog Show at 1 o'clock. Those are my annual traditions. One of my annual holiday traditions. And that's the American Thanksgiving. So I watched the Macy's Day Parade. I have to say, the entertainment was somewhat disappointing. I thought that Debbie Gibson was really good. She was on there. Kool and the Gang. Who else did I watch? Darlene Love did a Christmas song at the end. I guess she was maybe what was considered like the legacy artist. In previous years, it's been Dolly Parton, Diana Ross. So as I'm getting older, I tend to look for those legacy artists. I'm not so much into the new singers, but it was pretty cool. What I discovered though, and when was that? I think that was Friday night. I went on YouTube and I typed in Macy's Day Parade 2025 because I was commenting to my mother while we were watching the show on Thursday morning that they don't actually show a lot of the floats, which is to me is the cool part. It's all entertainment and advertising for Broadway productions and things like that, which is fine unto itself, but I want to see the floats. And I know Buzz Lightyear was a new float this year. I think there was a few other ones. I was watching for Buzz Lightyear because I'm a huge Toy Story fan. But what I discovered when I went onto YouTube and typed in Macy's Day Parade 2025 is that there are several YouTubers who live in New York or go to New York, and they film the parade just from the street level. And so you get to see all of the bands and all of the people dressed up and all of the floats. And so I watched that. It was about an hour and a half, 2 hours long. And so if you're looking to get like the sort of like street level view of the parade, I highly encourage you to go check out some of those videos. I don't remember the specific channel I was watching, but it was great, and I really actually enjoyed that way better. So I think next year I'm just going to wait and watch that. The dog show was fantastic. I can't remember what the dog breed was that won. It was a beautiful. See if I can find it. Soleil is the name of the dog, and I'm not sure if it's a boy or a girl dog, or maybe a non-binary dog. Oh, go away, paywall. So the National Dog Show, the dog which won the coveted $20,000 grand prize for 2025 was Soleil, a Belgian sheepdog. And does it say? Okay, I guess it's a girl dog. Well, I mean, so they say. Assigned female at birth, I guess. Soleil won the dog show. Sorry if that spoiled that for anybody. It was a Belgian sheepdog, a very beautiful, beautiful looking dog. So when I was a little kid, I'm sure I've told this story before, but when I was a little kid, probably 6 or 7 years old, when I would go to visit my great grandmother after school, because we lived in an apartment attached to our house, sometimes she would get out a dog book, which was like a book about dog breeds, and her and I would sit on the couch and look at this dog book, and she would tell me about different dogs, and I became totally fascinated by the world of dogs. So I think in more recent years, probably in the last, say, 10 or 15 years, I've been obsessed with the dog show on the day before Black Friday. So I watched that show, and it's wonderful. Of course, my favorite is the toy dog group. the pugs and the little wiener dogs and all those little guys. That's my favorite. The Pomeranian was very sweet this year, but I always enjoy watching that. So that's another thing I watched this week. The other thing I watched this week was Black Friday. I can grab the case. Can you guys can entertain yourselves for like what 10 seconds? I'm just gonna grab the movie so I can show you the case. As I watched it last night and I forgot to bring it with me. I'm also wearing my Star Wars Christmas shirt. But I also watched Black Friday because Friday was Black Friday in the United States. I guess in Canada as well. This is a 2021 sort of horror comedy with Devon Sawa, Bruce Campbell, and Michael J. White. I actually had this in a bag of movies to be traded in for credit. But I was thinking, what can I watch tonight? And I thought about this movie, so I dragged it out of the bag of potential trade-ins, and I think it'll still get traded in. It's not a great movie. It's okay. It's about some people who work at a toy store on Black Friday, and all the customers are waiting outside. Bruce Campbell is the manager of the store, and there's a meteor shower, and some meteor gunk falls through the ceiling of the toy store and infects somebody with this alien virus, and then of course it gets spread to other people, and they sort of look like alien zombies, and then the staff of the store have to fight off the aliens, and then in the end, well, I won't spoil it, but it's fun, it's fantastical, it's just a silly romp. It's very low budget. The shelves in the toy store in the film are very sparsely populated by some toys and odds and ends and Christmas ornaments. You could tell they didn't have a lot to work with as far as budget and props, but it's okay if you're just looking for something around this time of year. I did not watch the Thanksgiving movie, but maybe I'll watch that tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Before this video goes too long, I will go over the new releases on Blu-ray and DVD for you this coming week for all of you who like to go to the store and grab new releases. So on December 2nd, we have The Killer, John Woo's The Killer, coming out on 4K. This is from, let's see, this is from Shout Factory with Chow Yun-fat. Let's see, we also have the early 80s hip-hop film Wild Style coming out on 4K from 1983 on Arrow Video. So if you're into that kind of thing, I checked out some of that movie on YouTube, I think. Don't think it was for me, but... what is this? Okay, Ninja 3, The Domination is coming out on 4K. Revenge of the Ninja is coming out on 4K from 1983. There appears to be, I don't know what this is, Scott Pilgrim Takes Off, the complete limited series Blu-ray. I did not know Scott Pilgrim was a cartoon. Did you? This is from 2023, the complete limited series. I did not know that. Okay, that's also coming out on Blu-ray. We also have Enter the Ninja coming out on 4K from 1981. So this is a big Ninja Week, apparently. The Wicked 4K Steelbook from 2024 is coming out. Dawn of the Dead 4K Steelbook is coming out. That's the 2004 version. That's also from Shout Factory. So that's coming out. Deep Blue Sea is coming out on 4K from Arrow from 1999. It looks like a steelbook, but I don't know if it is. Let's see, what else do we have? No Wave, the underground films of Beth B. and Scott B. comes out on Blu-ray. This is a movie that was filmed in Super 8 and 16mm, highlighted by the electrifying presence of performance artist Lydia Lunch. that's kind of interesting. So if you're into no wave cinema, if you are into that. Let's see, we also have Shaw Brothers Classics Volume 8 coming to Blu-ray. Wild Style is also being released on Blu-ray, just Blu-ray, not 4K. And we also have The People Under the Stairs coming out from Shout Factory in a 4K Blu-ray from 1991. So if you like People Under the Stairs, I'm not a big fan of that movie. I know that's probably blasphemy for some people, but yeah, it was okay. Just quickly, December 5th, which I guess would be Friday, we also have Depeche Mode with something called M coming out on Blu-ray. We also have Tesseract Radar Blu-ray? I don't know what that is. New Orders, Movement, and Low Life and Brotherhood are also coming out on Blu-ray from 1981, 1984, and 1986, respectively. So that's a cool tie-in, because I was just talking about Joy Division. Of course, if you're not familiar, New Order was the band that emerged from Joy Division after Ian Curtis took his life. So then they went a bit, they stayed a little bit kind of post-punk, but then they eventually went kind of more new wave-ish and got lots of fame as a new band. I'm just looking ahead to December the 9th just to see if there's anything interesting. Not that I'm going to spoil it for you, but looks like there's some cool stuff coming out a week from Tuesday, December 9th. So I will go over that in next weekend's Hangout video, but looks like there's some cool stuff coming out. In the middle of December, of course, a lot of people are waiting. I'm not, but a lot of people are waiting for that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles box set trilogy, box set coming out from Arrow Video. But I'll talk about that in a bit more depth when it comes out. That's about it for today, guys. Thank you so much if you made it to the 47-minute mark. God bless you. My last Hangout video, for some reason, usually I get about 20 or 30 views. My last Hangout video got like 100 and some views, so I don't know what was going on there. But welcome to anybody who has watched my videos recently for the first time. I'm not going to ask you to subscribe or thumbs up or all that. That's you guys can make up your minds. I don't need to tell you that. But if you like videos with thrifting hauls, just talking about physical media, music, movies in general, and then I talk, of course, about new releases coming out, which is a new feature I've added to these videos. But that's what I do each week. So if you like that, of course, you're welcome to follow along, but I will not pressure you into subscribing. Like I said earlier in the video, the festive season is upon us. The return of the sun, the winter solstice, the Christian holiday, Christmas coming up, of course. So everybody's going all wacky, doing their shopping and wrapping gifts and things like that. I've done all of my shopping, so I'm just kind of chilling like a villain. But yeah, if you're going out shopping as a retail worker for another 4 weeks, and then I'm going to be done with that, but be nice to retail workers and grocery store clerks and cab drivers and Amazon delivery people and people at Christmas markets and people at farmers markets and pets and children and people with disabilities and LGBTQ people in your community and people of color and newcomers, and be nice to each other and support your local businesses by shopping at them and telling other people about them in your networks. Because I think it's important, especially given our current world climate, which is so ridiculous. I don't even want to talk about it. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. I'm not going to preach you too long today. Take good care of yourselves also, and your friends and your family and your community. If you're struggling at all, and of course this time of year, as we all know, is hard for some folks, make sure you get the help you need. Reach out to friends and family if you need more support. But do take good care of yourselves. It can get really wacky. I worked yesterday at my retail job for 7 hours, and I was just bombarded by a lot of really nice people and a lot of cranky people who feel they need to buy a bunch of expensive stuff, which you don't. You just don't have to do that. It's okay. Nothing's going to happen if you don't. But yeah, that's, just the wacky world we live in. So me, I tend to, well, I've been getting better at doing my shopping earlier and getting it all out of the way so that I can kind of more relax leading up to the holidays. Gremlins is playing at my local art house theater, so I believe I'm going to go with my friend Tracy and we're going to go check that out. But they're doing It's a Wonderful Life, Sound of Music, Gremlins. They're doing a bunch of Christmas movies, which I believe they just show them digitally, which is fine. But it's about the community and being in a little theater with a bunch of people at Christmas. It's cozy, it's fun. So I think we're going to go check out Gremlins, which will be fun. So check out your local listings and your local arts and entertainment newspapers and see if there's any cool things that you can go out and support. There's always some theater productions as well. I think one of my local theaters is doing The Grinch, which would be really fun. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Let me know in the comments below if anything I showed you or talked about is of interest to you. Let me know if any of those new releases are things you're going to go and grab. There should be some holiday sales going on with physical media as well, so make sure to shop around before you drop your precious cash on these things. Support your local thrift stores and comic book stores and record stores as well. And that is it, guys. Thanks so much for watching. You know the drill, baby. Until next time, I will see you at the video store or at the thrift store or just out and about somewhere, but hopefully not at the front of a line of people waiting to go through a door crasher special and being trampled to death. That would not be fun. So go slow, take good care, don't drink too much coffee, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video. Take good care. Bye-bye. Oh, and also live long and prosper.